purpose. And
Yeah.
we have to understand the purpose. And
Yeah.
if you don't understand the purpose, this event could repeat.
So I understand the purpose. I understand that I was trying to, that people were trying to kick me out of Russia. So esoteric, intended for or likely to be understood by a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. Yes?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Well,
like,
maybe, and it's like making mistakes and learning from mistakes.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. So, no, expats will understand how, all expats here will understand how my story, all expats, because we talked about, I believe, did we talk about this before? We talked about
People who moved to Russia, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, Russia is a terrible place for most European expats. Let's put it that way. It's basically so actually it's the 56th worst country to live in. Only Kuwait and Italy are worse. So for expats. So, yeah.
Russia is the worst.
Is the third worst. Italy and
third.
Yeah, Italy.
Who is the first?
I believe Italy or Kuwait.
Egypt.
What?
Egypt?
Yeah. Surprisingly, I've talked to people. They say it's hell. It's really hard living there. Russia, worst country for expats. Let me find the study really quick. I'll just send it to you here.
I know, of course, that Italy is the bad country for people.
It's
who
a great
immigrate.
place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. It's a great place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. So, give me 1 second. I'll just send it to you really quick. Yeah, so that's the reason why Russians' English is so bad. Your English is very good because you're subscribed to that. You're subscribed to that Russia is the worst country for expats. And it's pretty accurate, actually. This organization, I don't like.
No, I guess Russia is not a good country for people who immigrate here because the level of wealth is very poor here.
It's not that. It's not. Yes, that's one thing. Yes, absolutely, one part. Yes, 100%. The second thing is, I've worked for Russian companies before as a teacher, and I've worked with Russian lawyers, and they are just terrible, absolutely terrible. So absolutely 100% terrible. So to work for. So yeah. So compared to Americans in my book, there is what's called a power distance. I just sent it to you. There's a power distance between people at the top and then people down below. So the people that work for you, they have very little power compared to Americans. Yeah, and so it's very difficult. And see, we Americans, the power distance between those at the top and those at the bottom is lower. Okay. You've never worked for another company, but maybe you have friends that have worked for companies. See, anybody that's worked for a European company or an American company, all of them want to work for an American company or European company again because they are treated much better. Much better.
You know, in Russia, in 19th centuries, there was an expression. I will translate word by word because I don't know whether you have such idiom or not. The word by word translation. I'm the boss. You're a fool. You're the boss.
I'm the boss. You're a fool. This was how long ago was this?
and you're the boss, I'm a fool. It was well known in 19th century, and I'm not mistaken.
So
it was
if I'm the boss and you're a fool, yes?
For example, you are the boss and I'm a fool. Like I admit that I'm a fool.
Yeah.
Then I become a boss, and you should admit that you're a fool now.
Yeah, I had I've been I've invested $200,000 in this country, and now I have like nothing left. And I had a translator who she was telling me that Robotnik, the base of Robotnik is Rob, which is slave. Yes?
Robotnik is...
Yeah, which I think is very fitting. Robotnik, like, it's just slave. And so in my book, I talk about the power distance between, Russians and Americans, and the distance between Russians and Americans is just so high. It's just the distance between... I'm sorry. The distance between Russians at the top and the ones at the bottom. But the thing is about Russians, though, is as an employer of Russians, if you're nice to them, then they are mean to you. You must have an iron fist, which I don't have when I work with Russians, and so they're just terrible.
No, just a second. No, not always. I guess that Russian employers, Russian bosses,
yeah,
they like when other people flatter them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flatter them.
Yeah. So I went to a school for 3 quarters. You know what a quarter is in English? A quarter, like there's 25%, okay? So I went to 3 quarters of a university. And I almost got a degree here in Russia, a diploma. And the director was lazy, and my friends that my contacts and my really intelligent friends, they told me that it's really normal for a boss to like fight their way to the top, and then once they're the director, they do nothing in Russian companies. And so she would go on vacations, she would like sit in her office and do nothing, and I tried to contact her for literally, do you know the word literally? Yeah, I tried to contact her for literally 9 months, 10 months, and she never returned my calls. She never wanted to talk to me. She never wanted to see me. She just like, F you. So yeah, and then she was lazy. She just did nothing, absolutely nothing. And then I've had Russian employees, and I've read books about this. Like, there's a book called Culture Maps, and it talks about the differences between Russians and how they work. And it says that you have to be strong with your employees, because if you're not strong with your employees, they'll think you're a fool. And then it's really hard to work for Russians, because in America, the reason we smile so much is it's because of business. And so when you go to work, you gotta like fake it. You gotta fake smile and just like, everything's okay. And so it's different, but yeah. So esoteric. So yeah. Anyway, so it was good to talk to you again. Just keep me posted about classes, okay? What you decide personally, and so have a great weekend. So, and would you like to meet again on Friday, next Friday?
On Saturday, I guess.
On Saturday?
I'll be
Okay.
back on Saturday.
The weekend's better for you. Okay, great. All right. So, okay, good. Talk to you later then. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Bye.